Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Israel, and this is Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Back on the bridge, and going to have a quick chat with some of the companions before heading off to have a look at some of the other compartments of the ship, because the trip to the lowest decks last time was so enlightening. I'm wondering what else Theodora took her eyes off while she was running this place. Hello, Idira. You have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said by the broken lens.
It was just my nerves playing up.
Mm-hmm.
Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch.
Aha.
After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
I mean, it's the warp. If it's not frightening, something is going horribly, horribly wrong. What does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person, you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
Oh, believe me, Idira, she doesn't trust you either. I mean, you are an unsanctioned psycho and essentially a ticking time bomb, but maybe we should warn her.
Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked psycho has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her? Or maybe the danger's coming from her?
Or maybe it's both. It really just depends which end of the bolt gun you're on. Okay, and... Caches left by Theodora somewhere on Dargornus and Kiava Gamma. Do you know anything about it?
Me?
Nope.
Not a clue, Lord Captain. I don't know who Lady Theodora would have told about a thing like that, but it definitely wasn't me. Why would you whisper that to me now? Why?
Because they're trying to get into your head, Adira. They're not your friends.
Lord Captain, I don't know anything about caches or Lady Theodora's secrets, but the voices have just reminded me about something. I was once given the chance to try some real wine. Lady Theodora gave me some. Not just any old synthetic booze, but her favorite plonk. She always drank it in her palace. It was golden in color, and its name was Flame of Purity. A silly name, but the flavor was so intense, and like nothing I'd ever tasted before or since. Apologies. It's probably not important, but I don't know anything more than that.
So, watch out for a bottle of Flame of Purity on Dargonus.
Of course. Always at your service, whenever you need me.
Okay, what about kibbles? Oh.
Domin.
You torture your own flesh. What is the meaning of this ritual?
Torture? I bear the sacred marks of the Undying One's service. Death has bestowed them upon me. Though others may cherish hollow riches or meaningless beauty, it is my duty to cherish his gift of blood.
Well, could you stop splattering it over the deck, then?
Is a symbol of our service to him. Each drop of blood carries his blessing. To renounce these scars is to renounce the Undying One himself.
Okay.
Death whispers to me, you are worthy of bearing his marks. Tell me, Domin, do you wish to honor your flesh with his gifts?
I presume this will not be painless.
I have not felt pain in a long time. But yes, Your body will certainly suffer. Embrace the pain and make it a part of you. It will be your salvation, even on your darkest days.
Okay, well, let's indulge the crazy.
Let it be so.
Ouch.
Treasure his gift, Domin. Inscribe it anew each time you pray. May his blessing find you.
Ah, did you ever meet Theodora?
I met her once when I was young. The Vizier saw a serpent hiding among those close to Domin Theodora, ready to sink its fangs into her throat.
She said this.
I am the second spinner of the blood-spun web. A spear in the hand of the undying Emperor. I am your shield and shadow. Your blade.
How succinct. 40% roll of the dice. Difficulty modifier -15. Let's roll the buttons. Succeeded. Ah. So not the question she's used to getting there.
The tenets compel us to let our deeds speak on our behalf. There is no one in the cult who does not know me. So I have grown accustomed to taciturnity in matters regarding myself. Ask, and I will try to give you an answer that will satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
Okay. Your past, I assume you have mostly been on the ship and stabbing people.
I remember nothing of my childhood. The Vizier says this is because of my training and the injuries I received in battle. He told me it is the fate of all high spinners. The only memories I have are of the blood-spun web and the brothers and sisters who serve the cult alongside me.
Wait, is she being groomed as his successor then?
When we were young, we would sew our eyes shut and wander through the bays for months at a time. Starving, surviving, dying. This trial of darkness honed the senses of those who passed it. We were elated, for we knew we were blessed by him. When we grew older, we learned to wield our weapons, and our mentors tested us with pain, poison, and the weight of deceitful words. In time, our bodies no longer felt pain. Our blood became resistant to toxins, and our focus could not be shaken. We were at peace, for we had shed everything that could encumber our faithful service to him.
She's not crazy. Definitely not crazy.
When we came of age, we faced a great trial. A year-long vigil spent in unceasing prayer to the Undying One. When hunger and other base sensations faded away, we attained true comprehension of ourselves and our place in the world. Our place between life and death. We were proud, for on that day, he truly accepted us, and we accepted him.
Definitely not crazy. Yes, absolutely. Positively. Yes, you are clearly the best assassin in the cult. The cost was worth it.
Those who devote themselves to the service of the Undying One must be prepared to pay any price. Emotions, blood, life, death, memory. We all must lose what we hold most dear to become a spear in his hand. Some may lose everything, but they will also gain everything.
Thank you for sharing.
It is not difficult to speak the truth.
Of course, thank you. I must take my leave.
May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
Quite, thank you. Cuddles, here. Alright, where else have we got to go on the flagship? Because it wasn't just the lower decks that were available. Hey everyone. Alright, another compartment. So we've got the shrine and the astropathic chapel. Well, let's try the shrine first. Let's see. Probably not Adira. The sister definitely. Kibbles, Casio, Heinrichs. Now we'll stick with this. Right. Hello, everybody. Ah, and the Confessor again. Well, she seems to have kept the shrine in pretty reasonable nick. Yes, thank you, Cuddles. That's a good boy. The Emperor protects your lordship. Are you here to pray or have mundane matters brought here? I would like to find out more about this place. I could talk about the reliquary chapel for hours. Is this the only place to worship on the ship? No, multiple chapels on every deck. This is the holiest of holies where only the noblest among the servants set foot. Can those of other decks be able to partake of this exuberance as well? Truly a most generous and gracious gesture. Something like this with a... Excellent, Albert. That is exactly the point. Well done. Where does this collection come from? Every relic we have here was either arduously tracked down, captured in battle, or received as a gift for glorious deeds. So they're definitely not stolen. Yes, Initiate Zeke is especially diligent, though he's of common stock. He earned his position through dedication and piety. Right, Initiate Zeke is someone to talk to, then. You are possibly beaming with joy. A priest like you is a rare sight. Yeah, they're usually, exactly, stern and gravitas. What happened to your plan? Scarcely more than a child when the malady struck the cabins. First become the fever, then they start retching blood, and then they melt away. Aha. I see. I have other topics to discuss. Did Lady Theodora come here more often? She always had due concern for the reliquaries, maintenance its needs, and under her rule, faith occupied its properly. You could have just said no, Confessor. You could have just said no. What is it you do on my ship? No vessel that abides by the Imperial's laws can sail the void without a spiritual guide. Even the small size vessel, the rogue traders... flagship is expected to have a confessor. I think there's actually an obligation written into most warrants of trade that we have a confessor on board. Tell me about the dynastic crypt. Every rogue trader takes care to maintain an appropriate place of repose aboard their flagship. So the capital may change, but the vessel serves for millennia, and we carry the bodies with us. I see. People confess to you, do they not? Right. Okay, so I can actually snoop on people's confessions. Yeah, these people don't really have a tight grasp on the sanctity of the confessional, do they? And the Imperium's tenets? Every man and woman has their place. Beware witches, for they have been slain by the warp. Persecute the mutant, for they are perversion of the human form. Hate the Xenos. Yes. Probably best not to ask awkward questions of the priest. That will suffice for now. I must take my leave. Right.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Right. The Aquila Anima, fragment of the Cathedral of Eternal Redemption, brought from the lost Shrine of Solace 6. Well, might as well offer a prayer. Always good to be appropriately pious, after all. Right, we have the confessors. So this. Oh, what else we got?
Excellence matters.
The Ferrum Fart, the Iron Fate. Legend has it that it split when it cracked open the skull of the loathsome demon Brenazar the Flayer. Well, if he was actually a demon, then I suspect that the Inquisition would have had sharp words about anyone knowing about it. The Rex Regalia, the partially restored Blade of Zothudas the Earnest. Anything else? What's this one? The Imperium Invictum, an unknown warrior restored. Okay, what about over here? Well, this one's got a commerce check on it. Right. The Unknown Universalis Pantheon Crusade, which is the crusade that carved out the Calixis sector. And there's Nishin Zeke. Right, let's have a chat. Your Lordship, who are you? I recite prayers and help Confessor Albert with the rites and this relic. A mysterious object, but undeniably a holy one. It was donated by a group of pilgrims who studied the legacy of the great missionary Nadine Alenikov. I've heard of her. She pops up in one of the splat books in Rogue Trading. Give me a second. I think I've got that one lying around here. Nadine Alenikov. Right. Legend of Saint Cognatius, Genevieve Almas. Nicomedes Keith, rather. Where is she? Here we are, Nadine Alenikov. Right, family belonged to a set of militant redemptionists. Strict upbringing. Parents get killed by a heretical cult when a raid about had inadequate intelligence. Both parents in the administratum, so she gets inducted into the Schola Progenium, gets tapped for the Missionarius Galaxia, and predilection for violence. Knowledge of both religious matters and combat tactics considered precocious even by the Schola Progenium standards. At least one instructor felt that she lacked the subtlety required of a missionary. Considerable gap in her hagiography from there. Until the hive dropped on her head and she somehow survived. Led a group of survivors kilometers across icy wastes to the next nearest hive. She and two others survive and she gets bumped off to be a missionary in the Coronis Expanse. First world she hits is Agamemnon Quintus. Bit on the naive side. Always carried a map case, insisting that the chart within was an artifact of Saint Cognatius the Explorer, which might be used to identify the site of his final resting place. Associated with a plague called Alenikov's Bane, colloquially called Rot Grip. And here we are, final rest at Siberia 2. What have we got? Navigator cut their journey short, exiting the warp in the unbeholden reaches. Disease had slain or incapacitated more than 70% of the crew. Disease itself was noted on Siberia 2, which is where they were taking supplies. And she was trying to find a cure at a station of the world of Gildas, trying to care for the sick and dying and searching for a widespread cure to the plague. Not much else of note. Okay, well that's potentially an issue. One of the pilgrims was so desperate to witness the orb's opening that they bequeathed their body to us along with the orb. Okay, that might be an issue. Why am I suddenly thinking virus bomb? A riddle. Do we have any ideas on how to open this orb? One of your predecessors was the last attempt solving this mystery. It happened a long time ago before Lady Theodora was born, that's all I know. Why not just disassemble it? To damage the sacred relic is an unthinkable crime. To use force to bypass the test of wisdom and faith contains is terrible blasphemy. Fine, we're doing this the hard way. Please, God Emperor, don't let this be a virus bomb. Right. Someone has already moved the hoops around, trying to rearrange the letters into meaningful sentences. It will only take a few more rotations for the orb to split cleanly into 4 parts, each with its own question. The answers should presumably be formed using adjoining hoops. Okay, well, form the first question. My light reaches everywhere. The greedy will see me in gold. The scholars in humanity's cradle. But only the righteous will see me within their souls. Well, we do talk about the throne's light, don't we? Better or worse, something clicks inside. All right, the question, second quarter. Soul. The answer comes to you immediately. It is blood. Okay. You're spilled too many times in the name of faith for you not to answer this question. Okay, fine. Another soft click from the orb. Form the question in the third quarter. I am poison. I am perdition. I am grace. Burn me down. Eradicate me or perish. Rejected by the Emperor. Well, we of those 4, we only tend to burn heretics, don't we? Click, and the question in the remaining quarter. In your body, mind, and soul you must possess me. I am no mere absence. Purity, yes. And returns to the previous. Okay, fine, I'll have to start over. The greedy will seem in gold. Fairly sure that's throne, for better or worse. Second quarter. I'm within a human for that. When he comes to the end, give me to the Emperor will be eternal. Okay, we'll take blood on that one. Which leaves the third quarter. Weakness. Okay, form the question. Purity. We'll go with Cassia's option there. There we go, we have it. Right. So it was weakness rather than heresy. We have received the missionary oath. Once per combat, if the wearer does not use any abilities during their turn, they can grant all adjacent allies an extra turn with 1 AP. That could be very, very powerful. How strange and exciting. At least it wasn't a virus bomb. Alright. I will settle for that. It wasn't a virus bomb. Well, what's the Augurate got to say? Reliquary maintenance cycle proceeding normally. Wonderful. And, oh, initiate Plotus.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
What do we got here? Ah, it's the Confessional. I see. Grant me understanding, Master. Grant me wisdom. It appears you are having difficulties. I'm struggling to categorize 3 rather peculiar confessions. I think they might be left by the senior officers. I see. They are far from being examples of pious conformity. Right. What makes you think these confessions were made by senior officers? These parishioners are well spoken. Perhaps they should have invested with power, and I've learned to note subtle differences. Well, let me hear them. Right. Alleged dissent and impious doubt. One question struck me for years: why are some destined to perish in the walk while others must go on living and preserve the memory of the dead? Worthier and more luminous souls have been lost, and yet I am still here in its mail. Abelard? Perhaps. I mean, he is the oldest of the ship's officers and, well, after Theodora going. Right. The orphans on the ship will improve the bare essentials. So I can see increase their rations, ordering more sets of clothing will not replace family's loss. Ship has enough resources to cover. Okay, so diversion of supplies. That Jamris would be in a position to do something like that. Catching. Right, coded message, irreverence, query, query, query. Lockheed crackers display a high degree of socialization both among their kind towards their owners. These animals adapt to avoid ship's low gravity. It's a system to their homies. That's not a confession. Yeah, that's weird. Female. Well, that's Argenta, Idira, Kibella, Sabak. I'm curious to know who left these confessions. I will seek them out. Right. I will leave you to your concerns. And yes, indeed you do it. Don't you forget it. Right, let's go.
None shall stand in my way.
Let's go talk to
They
Cassia.
fear to look at me because of my appearance.
We are the spearhead
Or
of the
not.
Imperium.
Indeed we are. Right. Oop. Have a look at this and then head back to the
What is that?
compartments. Oh. I am Wrath, I am the cleansing. Whoever wields me walks within the steps of Furia. Oop. Oh! Alright, let's go walk in the steps of Furia then. Yoink! Right. There's the F. There's the I. There's the A. Where's the U? R. U. There we go. Right, so just go to
We must
myself.
act.
Indeed
Victory
we must.
awaits.
Yes, come on, Cuddles. Right. You. Right, Pascal.
Locomotives are fully operational.
That sounded happy. Then we want the
I
I.
guide humanity between the stars.
Yes, and right now, Cassia, I need you to stand on a pressure plate. And sister, if you would like to do the honours.
All to decay.
A. Yoink.
Oh, I noticed something.
Really? You don't say, Abelard. You don't say. What do we have? The Unquenchable Fury. Power Hammer, 8-9 damage. Harsh Shove and a Power Swing. 30% armor pen. Nice. Yoink! Well, if I ever remember to sort out this business with the shield only occupying one slot,
A
it will
new
do.
challenge for me.
Right. Back to... Back to the bridge first. We'll have a quick chat with Danrock about the orphans. And then ask around about these lop-eared whatever they were. Right, Jamris, about the orphans. Right, have you made a confession lately? Your lordship, the orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, have they not? I suppose... I am willing to allocate extra resources to provide for the orphans. Will there be any specific instructions? Yes, educate them so that they may grow up to be of better use. Boop. 2 serfs with 1 shot. Ouch. Okay, fair enough. Also, I'd like to replace the painting, hang my portrait instead. It will be done. Thank you. Enough questions. What was it like working for Theodore anyway? Oh, now that's a tricky question. It was never boring and always profitable, and only occasionally heretical. Right, enough questions for now. I shall return later. Abelard.
Lord Captain?
Right. Okay, not him then. I've discovered there are caches left by Theodorus on Dargonus and Kiava Gamma.
It is wise for a rogue trader to have caches where they can safely store important information. And utterly unwise to share the coordinates of such caches with anyone. Even one's most trusted associates.
So, no, you don't.
I'm afraid I do not know how to find the caches, but I can offer some help. Your predecessor used this numeric code to deactivate certain defense systems in her service. If I know Lady Theodora as well as I think, then I'm quite certain that she left her caches well guarded. In that case, this code will be useful to you.
Thank you. Right, so we're asking about souls, and it wasn't Abelard. Maybe asked who would leave a coded message? Who would be wondering about souls? Who would leave a coded message in the Vox system? The lop-eared Kleppers, the Confession? Right. The important question. Okay. It was the Vox Master. I did not see that coming at all. Right, the important question is why. I was fault-checking the Vox devices in the reliquary. Message recording works, but deletion does not. I see. You're welcome. Why lop-eared Kleppers specifically? At the time, I had nothing to repent of, so I dictated an excerpt from an old letter to my mother, and it contained arguments in favour of keeping lop-eared Kleppers on the ship. I can still recite from memory. I see. How fast do they breed? Because they sound distinctly like rabbits. And letting rabbits loose is a good way to get an area completely overrun with rabbits. Your confession perplexed the initiate. Find a way to delete it and we'll forget about it. Will do. Would you like to discuss other matters? Nope, that will be all for now. Which just leaves one question about who was wondering... Which of the male characters was wondering about souls aboard ship? Heinrichs, was it you? No. I must take my leave. Right. Wasn't Abelard, wasn't Heinrichs. Danrock's accounted for. Pascal isn't the sort of person who'd go to confession. Abel? How are you feeling, Abel? The running of the Benharic protocols was bogged down and dissolved in... In other words, he's feeling better. Good. Oh, there you are, Pascal. However, Tech Brother Abel's mind, being of less typical nature, has not been damaged to a great degree. What are you working on? We catch the soul of light in the solar wind. Needlessly cryptic. Oh, right. The dream computation procedure. Depersonalized data dream processing in vast arrays. Virtually everything is scrapped, but occasionally there are... Look for logical connections within the data. I see. There's a few that combine to formulate and computation graphs. Yay, XP! A crystal is explicit. It's exquisite in clear water, not explicit. That gets you into trouble with the government these days. Deviation from the cycle stretch has been increased, as was Amanat's wish. Tech Brother Abel has dedicated a... I see, thank you. For a motto, we'll consider an identifier or epitaph. Well, I am going to need an epitaph at some point, but let's not bring it up. Thank you for the gift. It does signify personal efficiency. Inspect the sacred machine. Hair's been removed from the servitors' heads. Ha! Why do you do it? I see. Right. It seems we have contributed to Amanat's design deviated from the cycle. What does that mean for you? We follow a path charted by a great mind. That path leads to dark places. The cycle has the advantage of predictability. So, yeah, roll the bones. Yes. Is that not the promise of every heresy? Let's renounce our path, distort our doctrine, and head out to what looks like a better future, but actually only has danger and grief to us. But it's better to meet the challenge than to rot alive. This statement is true. So, Pascal would quite like us to discontinue the cycle. You are no threat to my ship. What was flawed has been purged, but I see. I will make the judgment that will avert the threat. See, what troubles him? So, that brother's words aside, deep reason for his unease. Judgment. Only he knows. So Pascal's the judgy sort. Totally not foreshadowing something. Right, you care for him as if you were truly your own brother. He is harmonious, and harmony is beauty. Is so strange an urge? No. But the Adeptus Mechanicus are not noted for aesthetics, Pascal. I am registering a kinship. I see. Well, I will try not to... why do you and Pascal have the same name? The naming of the names is not an index to the text, the naming of the names is the text. So the fact they're both called Hanuman is important. Right. Are we overthinking it? It doesn't matter why your names is the same, what as is that they are the same. At this point in time, the cycle has been broken and reshaped into a rising spiral as Amanat envisioned. Hooray. They are connected. I see. I must take my leave. I am glad to see you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, Tech Priest Abel is precious and must be protected. Pascal, I doubt you've even been in the chapel.
Knows all, comprehends all.
Alright, I must take my
May your
leave.
labor
Thank you. Alright. Astropathic chaplain. I suppose it could be the astropath who left that confession. Boop. Let's leave Kibbles at home and bring Heinrichs instead. Two psychers. Well, having a psyker on the team is probably a good idea.
How fascinating. To me, the Immaterium is made of colors, but to the astropaths who dwell in this chapel, it is music.
Cursed music. Why do the astropaths not fill this place with litanies in his name instead?
Probably wouldn't work. Pascal? Right. Commit the astropath's principles to paper and then sort the resulting raw mental images. Yet, because you don't send straight text through the warp, you send allegories and imagery. And we'll give him... we'll give him Vanguard, because he is my backup tank relative to Abelard after all. Boop. Okay, you'll receive 5 lashes for violating protocol item 539.62. Ah, good. 539.62. You shall not get blood on your uniforms. Think. Outlines of formidable machines and Astropath Vice. Well, I suppose everything works this way. Symbols. Deceased navigator's organ repurposed for the choir master's needs. I see. Choir master Vice. Lord Captain. Visit from the road trader is an honour for us. Right. Oh yes, because he will have actually been to Terra and been properly sanctioned. Right. Brush with the warp phenomenon. Questions. Oh, did my nightmares scald you? My apologies, I sensed a strangeness in you. Thank you. The odd noise inside the chapel, does it not bother you? On the contrary, it's a mental focusing technique used by the choir. The music was written by an astropath. Right, so that is clear as mud, but I suppose it only has to work for the astropaths. Have you made a confession lately? Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living? Right. I felt there was anguish in that confession. I wanted to help. Uncovered all the secrets of the void ship shrine. Yay! Right. My confession made you anxious. My account was looking wasted time for which I apologise, but he is thankful for the consideration. But he does not want to talk about it. Oh, maybe he does. Death always keeps close to astropaths. I mean, yes, traditionally the first sign of something going wrong in the warp, be it the NIDS or chaos, is the astropath's head exploding. The stories kind of goes with them. That choir requires a clear and firm state of mind. Tell me about the choir. What device is this? A sacred compiler that helps us record, store, and to a certain extent unriddle messages. The cogitator matches the images in the message against its data, and then forwards the results so you can begin the ritual decoding. However, the astropath must still open their mind to interpretation, which is no less perilous. If something happens to your choir, where do I find new astropaths? It would be more important to say when something happens. Yes, astropaths, as noted, do tend to have exploding head syndrome. Only one way to procure astropaths, and that is through the Adeptus Administratum. Not permitting, there will be unattached astropaths available. Failing that, the request goes to Terra, and we will have to wait a long time. A very long time, because the only safe route to Terra is currently unavailable. Then there are the other options. Unsanctioned psychers, like Idira. But with how rabid the warp has been of late by the number of dead astropaths, those trials will be upon us sooner than our prayers could reach Terra. Oh dear. I do not recommend even considering such an option, Heinrichs. Believe me, I wasn't going to. If your machine knows the meaning of the symbols, why can't it decode the messages itself? Because thou shalt not make an machine that counterfeits the human mind. They are not cipher dispatches, but rather psychic imprints containing information, and only an astropath can read it. Or that. So, if you wanted to hide something from me, you could. My duty is to shield you from the monstrous communication that filter through the warp. Yeah. Okay. Good point, well made. I won't bring it up again, Zachary, thank you. How does one become an astropath? If you get lifted by the black ships, don't die horribly and then get your eyes burned out by the Emperor himself. Right. That changes you, it wounds you irreparably, it takes your eyesight, but you commune with greatness. And then you get sent to your first and likely last place of service. Lucky you. And this is the choir. You're at the conflux of every secret missive, every order of prime importance, every scheme plotted behind the scenes. Fair enough. Other topics? We will speak later, Choir Master. Okay. So we cracked the mystery of the chapel. And is there anything else worth looking at? Oh, astropath. Hi. Well, they look like they're having fun. No exploding heads yet, thankfully. And the stronger the head it goes. Logic test there. Pascal.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Unprocessed tests. And Sigma AR87 protects from machines with some rest for that. His gifts and sacrifices are fruitless. Okay, something's wrong. Right, the engine's what is going on here? The sacred compiler is ailing. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols. We summon the servants of the Omnissiah, but the machine spirits are none too eager to hear that. Pascal, you're up. The esteemed engine seer is in a state of prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot for a day now. I had the audacity to think the sacred pipe would be better helped by examining its parts, but who am I to question the secret knowledge of thee that you're someone who doesn't want to be turned into a servitor? Well done. Right. 7 users not recommended. Several will likely aid. Right. Okay, so Pascal was at. Okay, so the astropath might actually have been onto something. Right, let's see if there's any way I can help. Right. Accept. Let's see, fix the issues affecting machines. Let's have a look at these logic checks first. Yep, Pascal, that's you.
Operation successful.
Right. Once the text is ready for final interpretation, the compiler sends it to the choir master along with known images. Mechanism is rotating steadily. Okay, let's have a look at this wax-stained interpreter.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
So yes, literally just clean the wax out of the bits and it was gummed up. Seriously, did none of you people follow the rite of cleansing and maintenance? Alright, tech use on this one. Duct paper. The issue affecting the second option has been fixed. Right, back to the central area then. Okay, how are we doing? The technomat. May thy holy connections be guarded against the evils of entropy. Quite so. May thy sacred unguents soothe thine articulations. May thy sacred attendants remember to actually clean the damn
I
thing
won't
once in a while.
tolerate weakness.
Right, anything else? Saw the choir master praying again. Like, I don't think he sleeps at all. All he does is pray. Ah, here we are. Faulty transcriber manipulators. Alright, Pascal, you're up.
Operation successful.
Transcribers causing blots of the paper. We found a disconnected ink hose. The issue affecting the transcriber has been fixed. Right, what else have we got besides a lot of astropaths and the last beacon cannot be saved from the 13th storm. The lapsed father's beloved son will open his yawning maw. I think we're heading for a head explosion. Because that sounded like the 13th Black Crusade. Yeah, that happens. Luckily we didn't actually get a full-blown demonic incursion, but oh well. Right, anything else that needs fixing? Loot. Well spotted. More servitors.
None shall stand in my way.
What have we got here? Throne is furnished with a conductive charge supply can be turned into an instrument of execution at any moment, because if an astropath goes gribbly, you kind of need to off them quick, otherwise you end up with warp shenanigans. And believe me, that constitutes a kindness. Not to mention the safe, sane and reasonable solution to a psyche going a bit, well, soft in the soul. Okay, we're back at the main corridor. Is there anything else that requires attention? Back of the blood. Blood. It's smeared with blood. Ah, malfunction cogitator. Here we are. Yoink.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Right, diagnostic, and we're good. Okay,
Victory awaits.
anything else need a... Oh, yep, receiver calibrator is out. How many things broke on this deck?
The machine gun grants me insight.
Okay, the issue affecting the first receiver has been fixed. Are we done? Yes, I think we are done. Right. Your Lordship, the sacred mechanism is working again. Hooray! The sacred thought... How lucky we are that the venerable tech priest is so pious and wise. This statement is true. I recommend installing 2 incense burning compartments in this to prevent the spirit's continued action. 142 in total. Ready to implement rejoining sanctions on the part of the Adeptus Mechanicus Brotherhood. I see. And the decoded reports. Right, that will probably be from Zachary. Yoink. Right, I have something for you. We've received a most... curious message. Could it be a message from Voigtfear, who is more likely the intended recipient? Well, when was it sent? I cannot say with certainty. It had lost its way in the bowels of the mechanism. Could be a week old or years. What does it say? Only a few words. Lilame Odenathus 11. The winds have ceased, it is done. Lilame is Voigtfear's call sign for a special report. And something has gone down in the Odenathus 11 system. I will get to the bottom of that message. I have witnessed the death of one of your astropaths. What happened? May the God Emperor rest his soul. That was the 5th one this month. Our younger voices cannot handle the warp storms raging in the expanse and end up losing their minds. If they're lucky, we electrocute them first. Something's afoot on the other side of the moor. Oh, you have no idea, Zachary. No, literally, he has no idea. The Cicatrix Maledictum has opened, and we're just starting, what was it, 9th edition? Anyway. Right. You have heard accounts of disturbances of the warp affecting psychers. There have been more and more of late. Something is raging in the warp, yes. Right. You must tend to your quiet. I have good food, recaf, and relaxing balms delivered. Just don't get too high. I don't need you guys suffering more head explosions. I appreciate your concern. Indeed it will. Right, I have other business to attend to. Oh, we have a lead for the Odenathus system. The astropathic relays are working
I'll
properly
lay
again.
claim to the stars.
And I looted the chapel. Which reminds me, I need to head back to the chapel and tell them we've fixed the confession booth. Boop. Alright. Quotus. Regarding your confession sorting problem, have you come up with something? Enough about that. I have found the source of the confessions. You have nothing to worry about now. Nothing indeed. I will pass on the confessions with note regarding your personal involvement. May the Emperor protect. Quite so. Passed on, eh, Journey? Who did you pass them to? Dean with the final blood. Compiler out of order. Troubling confessions. Let's see. The high factotum. Found. Quest completed. Good. Right, well, we'll just delete that. So, Footfall, Kiava Gamma, and Dargotes. Well, to Footfall it is then. Okay, and of course we couldn't get there without an interruption. Game reports of several ships coming towards us. Judging from the fact they're not responding to hails, the telemetry shows a trail of macro batteries. They're not here for a chinwag. Right, on my order, action stations. Let's do this. Right, so we've got 2 Cobra destroyers by the look of it. Okay. Acceleration zone, end zone, mid zone, and end zone. So in this case, if we go for an acceleration move like so. Yes, I was aware of that, thank you. Right. Launch torpedoes. Fire! Yoink. Unfortunately, I think they are going to miss, rather annoyingly. Right, fire the lance. Okay, shields have failed, so we'll add the macro cannons on the dorsal mounts. There we go. And right, so no option for ramming then. Let's see, port side, starboard side, restart shields. Okay, we'll make a port side turn, fire the starboard battery, and they're moving to disengage. Okay, I don't think we can get the port side battery into play, but hard port turn anyway. Nope, no such luck. Pity. Aww, they've got pop guns, it's so cute. Okay, Cobra destroyers on the turn. Alright, acceleration phase, and that doesn't work. Torpedo control probably won't work either, so let's just come round and then hope that the port side battery is... Nope. Wait. Port again then. Dorsal weapons don't have the range. Port side batteries don't have the range. And the torpedoes are going to miss rather annoyingly. Still, we'll swing them round and hope for the best. Should probably have launched those before I moved the ship. Oh well. Learn that next time. On the bright side, they're doing a wonderful job of soaking up macro cannon fire, so perhaps I shouldn't complain too loudly. Alright, let's see. Plasma torpedoes. Now here's the question. Will they be able to chase down that fleeing destroyer? Right. No, we'll get after this destroyer, see what we can do. Lance fire doesn't have a bearing, but we can... What's the battery here? 14 damage per, 45 to 55 damage per, but fires multiple shots. Can we hit the lance from here? Nope, I am 1 square off. That is irritating. Starboard battery, 14, 28, 56 damage per. Okay, we're not going to get the lance to engage, so we'll just come up with the main batteries And not have the range on those either. Fine. Got them with the spinal mount. Wonderful. Okay, hold that. Cobra's going to try to tuck in behind us. Alright, those torpedoes are wasted. Just steer them clear so I'm not in the blast wave. Like so. And unless I fat-fingered the spacebar, I lost my turn there. Oh well. Nice for him to go for the overshoot. Starboard battery, you may fire at will. And dorsal battery, you may add to their misery. Right, let's see. I was hoping we'd be able to make enough of a turn to... Actually, we could make a U-turn. Go target the furthest node in the path. Yeah, but that should be enough to then bring the lance to bear. You may fire at will. Target destroyed. Yoink! And we got some scrap. Minimal damage. We are sorted. So now that that's dealt with and the ship comes out in one piece, we have Pascal's old home and a variety of other things to do. Let's stop by the old Tar Temple first, see if Pascal's buddies. The station's airlocks have been sealed from the inside. They have no desire to communicate with the laity, and they are refusing access to guests. Wonderful. No, they really don't want to talk. Fine. Ashworld. High scan. Aptus non. Dead world. Nil of note. Right, what about the Drusus's blessing? This is the Navy, if I remember correctly. Flagship Drusus batting with a small escort, patching us through. Chartist Captain of Steer's thought that, so not the Navy then. Fine. What's your squadron doing here? We developed supply routes for the Chartists. They do not yet have a fixed charter-defined trade route. I see. So legally they're not rogue traders, but they're basically acting sort of like rogue traders. Right, what have you got available for purchase? Scrap box, class 1 drives. Only 70 protection, but doubled against blast attacks. Mezzo Lance weapon is what I've got at the moment. On the other hand, I could simply buy the lot and then convert it all to cargo. I've received new equipment. I was aware. Thank you. Alright, set all of this. Scrap box, 50 scrap there. That will help with upgrades. Mark 201B, upgrade 90% hit. Okay, that's an upgrade. And prototype glimmer pattern array. Right, let's see. Lance weapon 45 to 55, narrow arc. Okay, that can go to cargo. 13 speed, that is better than I've currently got, so equip that. Right, I'm going to need to go to the ship screen, aren't I? 4x19 versus 4x19, that can go to cargo. And 90%. So the auger array and the engines are improvements. Not sure about the rest. Select tradable. Void Eldar trophies. Ship components for 200. Sell them. Right. Not much else of note. Right, and on to footfall. Right, wait for completion of the ship's inspection. So I suppose we'd better have a look at ship management while we're here. Mark 201B auger array replaces my current. And the drives can replace speed and maneuver. Should upgrade both speed and maneuverability. Develop the ship. Swing run, torpedo control, nil of note there. Need to start leveling her up on that front. Posts. So, Supreme Commander. Well, that would be me, of course. Master Cannoneer managing the artillery. Pascal, that would seem to be you. Actually, no, he has Expeditious Reload for Master Cannoneer. Who's got... Argenta's got better demolition control, so we'll put her in charge of the cannons. Shieldmaster Pascal takes over on the grounds of tech use, and you know, thoroughly bonkers tech use skill, Master of Maneuvers. Abelard, that's you. Warp Channeler. Idira taps out on that one. Warp Law skill. Master of Etherics, Cassia, that is you. Vulnerability scan. So the bridge crew are set. Passive abilities, Educated Labour, thanks to having been nice to the lower decks. Shock Horror. Development, Components. Weapons, Miscellaneous. Arsenals, Maintenance Deck. And nothing else there, but we can upgrade the hull and the ram. Well, let's upgrade the hull as a matter of some urgency. And there we go. Leave some scrap in reserve because I might need it for repairs. Alright, back to the bridge. What are we doing as regards this inspection? All calibration complete. All matters are dealt
Lord
with.
Captain.
I must take my leave.
Lord Captain.
Like so. Let's chat with Cassia and Argenta wants to talk to the Reverend once we're there. Cassia, anything of note?
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Thank you. I think starship bridges are meant to be boring places. When they're exciting places, something's usually gone horribly wrong. What's your slight reveal?
The esteemed Magos Haneman is shattered, like a beautiful stained glass window into a mosaic of colors. His bright, beckoning hues are mixed together in complete disarray. I must confess it perplexes me. Normally, scarlet and steel are all that fills the heart of a servant of the Omnissiah.
I see.
I have enjoyed your...
Again, totally not foreshadowing. Bravo, anything of note? You know anything about a ship named the Fiery Reckoning? Heard the name, but can't recall the details. I wonder if it was part of that operation that the late Mort was put in charge of. Whole thing was kept under wraps. Best bet would be to ask the High Factotum. Okay. Victus? Vox Splits brought you anything interesting lately? The apparition of Lady Theodora has been sighted on board, haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. And the ship... oh dear. Well, ship's haunted. If we ever take it over to the moon, then everything will be haunted. And I think everything else is okay. So, right. Let's go see how things are at Footfall, if they're done with this inspection yet. Right. Right, Void Dock Alpha Row, there we are. Let's see, I need to bring... Heimitz has apparently decided just... oh yeah, of course, he jumped ship the moment we docked, didn't he? Right, let's see, we'll drop Idira, bring Kibbles, Argenta is range support, Abelard is tank. Right, let's roll. And of course we have the full pomp and ceremony option this time, don't we? That's an unorthodox way of disembarking from a shuttlecraft. But at least it establishes who's in charge here. Rogue Trader, full welcomes you. On behalf of the Liege Lord Vladimir Tokara, allow me to express my joy. I will be honoured to serve as your guide. This is so familiar. Right, what's the situation on Footfall? There are certain problems. Yeah. In other words, it's all going to be...
How's this for a warm welcome? I won't heed your cries of mercy. Crush him!
Well, I'd like to say I was surprised. Cassia, if you would just wander over here, and since you've got the first turn, be prepared to hit the delete button. And Argenta can set up in hard cover there. Actually, Cassia there. Argenta kicks in there with the autocannon. Let's see then, pretty much everyone else gets... The thugs get an opening, so we'll put Kibbles in cover here. I'll back up here with Cuddles on standby. Actually, Cuddles can wait there. Pascal, you are going for cover on the side here. And Abelard, duck in, get ready to set things up from there. Alright, looks good. Start the battle. Let's see. We will drop the front line zone to there.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
Position the back, well, the rear zone so it's boosting Argenta. Actually, we'll use it to boost Abby as well. That boosts range effect. And then backline, just use that to cover Kibbles and Cassia for the
Isn't this a
moment.
job for the serfs?
And then introduce the lot of these people to what happens when you annoy a navigator. Yeah, that should be reasonably convincing as an opener.
The navigator's might.
Quite. All right, let's see. She's got 2 action points left. We will use Voice of Command on
I'm not
Kibbles.
accustomed to being ordered around.
And then have her reveal the light as well. There's a slight problem that I've just demolished my cover and set a lot of people on fire, but hey, details. Alright, Argenta's up next, so concentrated fire. And if you wouldn't awfully mind stepping out with that autocannon and introducing these heretics to the Emperor's justice.
The Emperor's judgment.
That will do, sister, that will do.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Right, and high momentum is up. Hold that on the sister for the moment.
For now.
Let's see who else is still in business here. Shotgun round, but she forced Argenta out of cover. Right. Oh, they're all nicely bunched up. Has anyone got the hand grenade? Never mind. Kibbles. Move like so. And then... 4 attack points to work with. I think both these idiots... 23 points. Okay, we will set for Raining Blood.
Demand.
And captive audience.
As honor ordains.
And then execute a cleave
I
attack.
shall
I was expecting slightly less blood. Right, where can she get to on her movement? Nowhere particularly useful, but we can duck her back into cover. So, actually, 105 points.
I bring
we can
mercy and retribution.
flip and not flip. Right.
Trust me.
Okay, pull her back. So she's in her starting position and back in hard cover. Pascal, do you have a grenade? Pity. Right, new plan. I mean, he does have a blinding grenade. Right, we'll move him up into close quarters, I think.
Activate calculated fury algorithm.
And then we'll go for successful attacks and any dot effects, which they aren't. So we'll just set for smashy.
Try the memory of this righteous moment.
You do that, Pascal, you do that. Right, let's see. Shoot a few people in the face.
Running binary override.
That wasn't what I meant. Abelard, let's see. Yes, I think dealing with bloodstained Amelia's the next concern here. This bunch that were tempting for a grenade suddenly aren't anymore. Right, charge. There we go. Right, endurance up. And then standard attack.
I will do my duty.
Choppy. Daring breach.
For Von Valencius.
Go to work. Weapons extra attack which increases arm pressure will subsequent attacks against the same target by 1 round stacks. Okay, we'll run that first.
Victory is imminent.
So that cripples her armor. Pistol burst. Unlikely to be of use here, but if we then... He's got 2 points left. So we'll mark target.
It will be done.
And then smack her again.
At your beck and call.
Yep, she felt that. And with her movement crippled, I can then move up myself and administer a shotgun blast. At least that's the theory, except I can't get close enough to do it. Right, let's see. Can we do something from here? Yes. Actually, run and gun. Run and gun. Let's take care of the bloodstained. So, quick blast through there, and let's see. Apprehend. Cuddles.
Suits my purposes.
Get him. Not sure he's got the movement points to do it. He hasn't. Pity. Right, so... run and gun.
All too easy.
Move up onto the flank. Prep shotgun blast. Okay, prep rather nasty shotgun blast. Go. Well, that point just went moot. She dodged it. Okay, 1 AP left, so... Rending shots, fire.
Nothing I can't do.
Okay. Unfortunately, it did not particularly set off any dot attacks, so, well, Cassia gets the next option. Right, where are those? A bunch of 3 of them fairly tightly wedged. Yeah, there we go. Right, we'll move
I have
Cassia
read
up.
tomes of military tactics.
Yes, you have. Largely, but when you're involved, it's simply give them the evil eye. Which apparently is going to involve popping everybody's skull, but okay. Or not, as the case may be.
Me?
Do it.
Witness the fury of House Orselio.
Something like that. And if you wouldn't then mind letting me
If
have
I
a
may.
go. Thank you. Fulminating shot. Well, it will help.
Suits my purpose.
Especially if it kills. Right. Momentum is up. However, that is irrelevant because we'll snap back to Cassia, then pop Finest Hour. Abelard!
In the name of House Orselio, I
Fetch.
shall prevail.
Fetch me their bolts.
Free hair, sure hair.
Something like that, yes.
It will be done. One fewer target.
And they're dead. Welcome to Footfall Station. Right. Emperor, protect me. They killed. Yes, they killed your mistress. Right, we took care of the attackers. Do you know who they were? They were Anvers. They're a gang. They're the worst at it. Does this kind of thing happen often around here? Shooting, yes. Attacks on nobles, not very often, unless it's the Anvers. Ha, wicked heretics, eh? Go report to the liege. Yes, you do that. We'll just clean up here. Ooh, lots of chainswords. Power axes, flak armor. And combat shotgun, 18 to 22. Oh yeah, I am having you. Without question. Standard issue shotguns can be marked for cargo. Cargo. Medium armor. Snag a couple of the chainswords just in case they come in handy later on. Weighty axe. Yeah, maybe. Spare chainsword again. Couple of bits of medium armor. And everything else can go to cargo for sale. Alright, excuse me. I think I have a new toy. Shotgun. Combat. 18 to 22 versus 10 to 15. Oh, hello. Yoink. Now all I need is some executioner rounds, and it'll be just like the good old days. Maybe. Possibly. Heavy leather armor, 40%. Do you have anything better here? 35. 35. Only fractionally worse. Armor deflection to 36. Okay, we'll upgrade that, so getting slightly better. Chainmail can go to cargo. The Seneschal's carapace can go to cargo as well. Unfortunately, Abelard, it's what you're wearing is a bit obsolete. Ditto the body gloves and the heavy armor. What have I got? Spinner's vestments, 30%, but it's light. And cargo, don't need that anytime soon. 5 armor if the wearer has no cover versus 10% dodge if the wearer has no cover. Debatable in both cases. On the other hand, medium armor. Dodge 60% of average attacks in this chapter. Oh yeah, I'm hanging on to these speaker's vestments if you don't mind. Sister, you're in standard issue flak at the moment. 25, plus 5 armor if no cover. Okay, we'll give you that because it is a boost for you. Cassia, back armor versus the body glove. She doesn't get into melee too often, does she? Right. Black armor instead for her then. Pasky! Okay, you can't wear heavy armor yet, so flat's going to be an improvement over the chainmail you're wearing. And Kibbles, well, Kibbles has her own priorities, especially with the dodge. Okay, so we'll send that flak armor and that chainmail to cargo by default. Pascal's... Okay, the heretical mesh vests can definitely go. And the casing chase plates are slightly obsolete at this point. So, done and sorted. Right, welcome to Footfall Station. We need no rules or leaders. We are not an organisation, we are Force Nature ANV. Oh, an Anva Manifesto then. Right. Pebbles, what are you making a fuss about now? Not sure. So, next time it's off to meet the Liege, figure out what Argenta wants with Doloroso, and generally say hi to Footfall Station. Hopefully not involving quite so many blasts of a shotgun, but don't get your hopes up. Until then, thank you all, and good night.